Hi everyone, today I want to show you how to take angry stakeholder emails and turn them into action plans. Let me show you everything we're going to cover today. So we'll start with a list of angry stakeholder feedback, all the emails. Then we're going to aggregate them into a document like this one that captures all the feedback from the stakeholders, everything that we need to address and work on. Then we're going to build a product trio from AI bots. Once your AI product trio helps you create a rough action plan, you're going to feed it to AI stakeholder that's going to ask you 15 to 20 tough questions. At that point, it's a good idea to get involved personally and get your team involved to start answering those questions. In the end, once all the questions are answered, now you're ready to give all of this content back to your PM assistant AI writer and have it create you a document that you can send to your stakeholders that they'll be happy with. So let me now show you how to do all of that. First, what you have to do is you have to collect all the feedback that you've been sent. You have to summarize it and create a document that resembles this. So what I have in this document, and you've seen this in the first video, what I have here is just main problem area, contributing issues and context. So the first two, I have unclear product strategy and vision. Under that, I have ambiguous goals, and the product's long-term objectives are vaguely defined, making it hard for teams to prioritize effectively. I have three more: misaligned product development processes, ineffective customer discovery and feedback, and poor cross-function collaboration. So this is our starting point. We are now here at aggregate feedback step. What we have to do now is, this is the cool part, we have to unleash our AI product trio on these problems to see how each member of the product trio is going to A, solve them, and give us an understanding of how it's going to impact their team. So let's see what the expert engineer has to say, our tech lead. Beef up the material based on the principles. What I'm doing here, I'm copying and pasting this specific area right here that's highlighted, and I'm running it through a script. And a script is essentially just a prompt that I use to build this AI tech lead engineer. I'm going to share the prompt with you in the next video. They're quite large, these prompts, and this video is gonna become really long if I go into that, but I'm gonna give you all the prompts so you can just copy and paste them to recreate these AI engineers for yourself, and designers and PMs. So the tech lead is telling us the impact of this problem on the team. So lack of clear priorities, risks, parallel redundant engineering efforts, missing technical dependencies mapping between teams, impact, engineers forced into reactive development patterns, huge no-no, increased context switching costs, 2040 productivity loss. This is really, really good. So our tech lead's reaction about what this means for our delivery team is this. Here's the impact that the team will suffer. And then the engineer provides the mitigation plan. Recommended technical additions, strategic technical alignment, establish clear technical KPIs and architecture principles. So the engineering bot is telling us that essentially to be able to, from their point of view, to be able to have less ambiguous goals and non-fragmented strategic roadmaps, this is what the engineering team can do. Define clear service boundaries, team ownership, implement technical dependency mapping, infrastructure cost per unit transaction, success metrics, etc. This is pretty good. So we're going to take this, we're going to copy it into engineering lead perspective. Now let's do the same thing, but with the designer. We're going to call our designer here. Beef up the material based on the principles. Let's analyze this content through a design lens, starting with our question, what are the implications for the design team and the users? This is from the prompt. So when I say, you notice me saying beef up the material based on the principles right here, because I just wanted to use one prompt. I do not want to layer in my opinion or anything. I don't want to prompt it further, like level 2 prompting if you think about it. I just wanted to use the prompt that I've given it. Because what I can do, I don't have to use this line. What I can say is, ambiguous goals are fine. I don't think that's the main problem. I think the big thing that you need to focus on from the design standpoint is fragmented strategic roadmap. So lean on that a lot more. I don't think our goals are ambiguous. Now I'm doing level 2 prompting. So I'm putting my own prompt on top of the designer prompt that I have already made. And at that point, I can really control it. But for this specific use case, I don't want to do it. I just want to use the design prompt that I have already built. Okay? So we're going to copy it here. And now we have engineering lead perspective, we have a designer perspective, and we have expert product manager perspective. I also have a PM prompt, and I put it here. So for the most part, what you're going to do here, what you want to do, is you actually want to level 2 the PM prompt. You want to give, when you're talking about it, you want to do this. I think our goals are not ambiguous. I think that might create optics with our stakeholders because we are not communicating our goals in enough meetings. So I just want you to focus on fragmented strategic roadmaps instead. I think that is a valid point, please. Establish. So how do we do strategic roadmaps? Okay, let's establish regular opportunity solution trees to align team efforts with clear customer outcomes. Create success metrics. The revision. Okay. So we can use this instead. So as PM, you want to guide the PM column a lot more than you would for design and engineering. You want to have as much content here to cover as much ground as possible. Versus PM, you want to be more precise because I assume you are the PM here. If you're an engineer, you can do the reverse of that. So now we do this for everything, every one of these columns, and I've pre-filled this for you. I just wanted to show you the next step that happens here. The next step is, remember we got our AI team to give the feedback on the feedback that the stakeholders have sent. Now we have a document that looks really nice and covers a lot of ground. Great. So what do? Now we take all this feedback and we take it through an AI stakeholder that's going to ask us tough questions. So how do we do that? Do it like this. We highlight everything. And look, just while I'm doing this, you don't have to use Excel for this. You can do this in Slack. Anywhere where it's just convenient for you to highlight stuff and copy, you can do this. Okay. And now let's invoke our tough stakeholder. Reflect on the content and on the problems described in main problem area 1 through 4 and contributing issues and context, and create 15 to 20 tough questions for the team that worry you as a stakeholder. Just thinking. There we go. As a demanding stakeholder, I'll focus my critical questions: accountability, risk, and direct impact to my area of responsibility. Okay. Clearly, you saw I was going through 4 emails from different stakeholders in the beginning of the video. You can create, if you really know your stakeholders well, you can make your prompts be as relevant to as close to the real stakeholder as possible, so you can have 4 stakeholders of yours react in their own specific way to the content that you have here. It becomes really powerful if you think about it. So let's go through some of the questions from our stakeholders. How will these unclear product objectives directly impact my team's resource allocation delivery timelines? Okay, that's tough. What concrete measures are in place to prevent my department from bearing the burden of these misaligned processes? Ooh. These are tough questions. Where's the detailed impact analysis showing how these changes affect my department's existing workflows? Okay. How frequently will I receive detailed updates about risks and issues affecting your domain? It's not very tough. Once a week, that's fine. How will you guarantee that my area's critical projects won't be deprioritized during this transformation? Okay. Where's the cost-benefit analysis showing the value of these changes specifically for my department? Ooh, how do these proposed changes align with my department's core objectives? So you can cherry pick. There's 18. You can generate another 18 if you want. Some of these I think are really good. So we're going to put them here. These are your stakeholder comments now. So where are we now? Stakeholder, ask tough questions. Now what do we do with these questions? It's good practice to answer them as a live team. Or you can do your product trio answering these questions. Aligning with your cross-functional teams, you can also use your AI team to answer these questions as well. This is what I did for this video. I just wanted to have the questions answered quickly. So you can see, like, imagine we had all these stakeholder questions. We answered them. Now we have our answers to the questions. Now we're nearing the point where we can send the communication, or at least create a really good draft. So what do we do now, right? We have a lot of content from our product trio. We have questions from stakeholders. We've answered all the questions from the stakeholders. And what we want to do now, we want to put all this back and send it to our final helper. We want to send it to our PM assistant helper. I want you to reflect on all the materials and specifically the answers from resource and timeline questions and everything else, and write a communication for me that in it highlights how is a product team, 1, and 2 is individual members of the product team, like the designer, engineering team, and the product manager. We're going to address main problem areas and contributing issues and context. The communication should also contain a 30, 60, 90 plan and an FAQ section. So it's thinking, but it's going to be a very comprehensive communication that I'm trying to send because it has just so much content in it. And look, so we spend, I think maybe, if you do this without recording like I'm doing, you can probably do this in about 10 minutes. And it just prepares you so well for what's to come. And then you can actually spend 10 minutes on this and get it in front of real people, get it in front of your team, get it in front of, maybe you have some stakeholder friends that you say, hey, is this good enough for you? Right? Process the feedback, put this into this loop, and make it even better. So let's see what it says. Here's the email. Hope this email finds you well. It did. After a comprehensive review, I'm writing to outline strategic direction, present a clear action plan that addresses our key areas of focus. Great. Okay. Here's all the problems that we have. Action plan by team. Here's what PMs are going to do. You can also highlight this and say, you know what? They see us as a product team. Why don't you just create a plan together for just what the product team should do? Don't single out the design team and the engineering team. It's also an option. I just wanted to show you that it is possible to have that granularity here, which is really cool. Now we have a 30, 60, 90 day plan. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how we're gonna make sure all of these issues and stakeholder feedback doesn't come up again. Measure impact, new process, scale, support niche, okay. Responsibilities matrix, okay, cool. Wow, this is new. I like this. Engineering owns all of these things. FAQ, how will we measure success? And some FAQ here, right? How will we measure success? We establish following KPIs, sprint velocity improvements, reduction, technical debt. This is nice, I like it. What are our biggest risks? Resource constraints, time slippage, technical complexity, okay. This is nice. Okay, next step. Okay, so I would take this as a first draft, and then I would essentially take it back through the PM assistant, and I would say, hey, collapse this. I just want to be able for you to maybe 2x the content on this and really hone in on how are we solving the problems 1 through 4. 30, 60, 90 day plan. What I would do here, I would say, you know what, I think it's fine. I just want it to be more detailed, right? Let's take that final email to stakeholders. Highlight everything else so we have context. Take the final email to stakeholders and rewrite it. I want you to change some things in it. So I want you to, where it says, just where it has the breakdown of what each member of the product team should do. So like what the engineering should do, what the design should do, what the product management should do. Instead, let's position it as someone that we want to position it as just the product team. We don't want individual functions of the product team to be in that communication. I just want to create only the visibility into this problem that is going to be solved by the product team. And 30, 60, 90 section is good. I just want you to make it relevant to the problems in main problem area and contributing issues and context. I want you to address through 30, 60, 90 day plan. I want you to address the main problem area and contributing issues and context. Leave everything else the same. I think that's enough. Let's see what it gives us. What kind of email? I would keep working on this. I think maybe one more iteration, maybe 1 to 2. What I would change here again is main problem areas, and I just want a narrative, like a couple of paragraphs about how we're going to tackle all of these things from here, 1 through 4. So like the ambiguous goals, I wanted to specifically outline how these things make sense and how they tie back to our solutions. I hope this is helpful. In the next video, I'm going to show you all the prompts and how I set this up.